In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some extremely smart tips and tricks to help you improve on Siege. Now make sure to go down into the comment section, let us know what other types of stuff you'd like to see on the channel, and of course hit that like button. Let's aim for 100 likes on this video. If you're new to the channel, hit the sub button and the notification bell so you know when we upload our next video, and let's dive in and get started. It's Alan from the Dangleberries here, once again teamed up with Elevate to bring you some really sick tricks that you need to be using on Siege. Starting off with the first one here on Oregon. This trick is for when you're using RAM. Now if you go up the front side of the building here, right above this games window, you can actually throw the RAM drone onto the windowsill and it will go in towards the wall on the right hand side. Now you just need to look exactly where I pinpointed on screen and then throw the RAM device down onto the windowsill, making sure to change its trajectory so it turns towards the right hand side, and it will destroy any gadgets on that game's wall. Now of course there's so many other ways of getting stuff off the wall. This is just another thing to remember, that maybe if you have someone who's playing RAM at that moment in time, this would be a great way if you don't have any other utility to get that stuff off the wall, so it's a good one to know. And moving on to the next one here, and this is another little trick here on Oregon if you're playing Sense. Now I know Sense barely ever gets played, but this is actually a fun one to try out with your teammates. So inside the master bedroom, if you look exactly the way I pinpointed and you throw his device through the drone hole, it will actually bounce off the side of the wall and it will cover that whole area where you'd normally get the bomb down. You'll be able to get the wall open, completely distract the defenders, and it would help your teammates in getting the diffuser down and then getting off and playing post plant. So it's a really simple one, but it's a highly effective one to try out with your teammates. Now moving on to this next trick, and this is a Claymore trick that you can use, especially when you're trying to stop anyone flanking as you're making your way towards the main site. So what you do is you just normally place your Claymore kind of at the corner of the door, but if you actually place your second Claymore right behind it, it will activate of course, but the lines will be blocked off by the Claymore in front of it. So when the defender comes around the corner, they'll peek, they'll see the original Claymore, they'll shoot it out, but what happens is that because you've shot that first Claymore, the second one is already activated, so they'll hit the sensors and it will blow up and you'll be able to get a pick. Now of course a lot of people will be like, oh, you're wasting two Claymores, but realistically if you're pushing from one side of the building, you're only going to have time to place that one Claymore down, covering your own flank. So by using these two, you're almost guaranteeing yourself a kill unless the defenders actually know about it. So it's a strong one to try out. I've tried it myself a couple of times and it has worked, so I'd definitely give it a go. And moving on to the next one here, this is a window prep trick that you need to be knowing. A lot of people don't use this, and it's actually such an effective way of getting outside the window and jumping out on any attackers. So what you do here is normally people just punch the window twice, but if there's somebody outside it, they're going to hear you punching the window. They're going to start shooting at the window, so you can't really jump out, because if you do, you're going to get picked off. Now obviously some people prep these windows early on in the round, but if you haven't prepped the window, what you can do is, because you're inside the building, there's still glass on the window, so the sound is muffled. If you just shoot out the two barricades on the left side here, you can then actually knife the side of the window and it will allow you to vault outside. So you just go over to the corner of the window, knife it twice, and then you can see you'll get the vault prompt, and then you can wait for the right moment and jump out and pick off any attackers sitting outside. This works of course on any window, so it's definitely a good one to try out. A very effective way of being a little bit more quieter when trying to jump out on attackers. Moving on to this next trick, and this is for Capitao. So this is just a better use of his smokes. A lot of people just kind of fire them on the ground, run in and start planting the diffuser, but if you do it this way, this will actually allow you to see the defender, but they won't be able to see you. So you just need to put it on higher areas inside of the map. So here, an example on Armory, if you fire it onto the beam, you'll be able to see all of that section just below, but if you're inside it as a defender, you cannot see the attacker. So this is a great way to just kind of, it's almost like a little glitch where you can see them but they can't see you. It's a really simple, effective way to use it as well. There's so many areas that this works on. If you just learn little spots that you can do this on, you can see that they just cannot see you, but you can get a full view of their body because their head is stuck in the top of the smoke. Now for this next trick, we're going to take a look at Gridlock. This is a really great way to use her tracks a lot better when setting up her traps against the defenders. So a lot of people just kind of throw them on the floor. You can get them into multiple areas, but if you actually put these on higher areas, like here example on Clubhouse, if you throw it up on top of the server in the middle of the site, because it's up higher, they'll just kind of like shoot out into different directions and cover a lot more of the site inside the bomb site. Now the only issue here obviously is that some of them will get stuck up on on top of the server, but you can just have this as like being your first throw. It leaves the defender kind of confused. There's so many tracks around the place. You can add a second one in there onto the floor as well, so it just covers a lot more area of the site. Now another great example here is down inside of the arsenal room. So these crates here, if you just throw it up on top of the crate, it will start shooting the tracks off in every single direction around that crate, and it will just create a really good starting point as an attacker to push into the site and get the diffuser down. Now you can kind of cover this up. You still have 2 more tracks to use, so you could throw another one across the site, also having all of these covering you, and then you could put one behind you to cover your flank. So it just adds a little bit more room and space to plant more of these tracks down and help you in getting the diffuser down. We're going to move on to the next one here, and this is just a little unknown thing. I think a lot of people don't know about this over on a theme park. So this area here on the balcony just outside the cache door, I think a lot of people are unaware that the floor is actually soft. So a lot of attackers will be pushing up here. You know, it's obviously a high traffic area to get inside of cache. They'll rappel onto this area, they'll get on their drone, and they'll be busy getting intel for their teammates, not realizing that you could actually go downstairs as a defender and open up that door inside Gong and maybe have a pulse use a C4 to take them out. You can see here now, obviously there's the risk of there being another attacker on the lower part, but if you know it's clear, you can just sit on this door, and as they're on their drones, you can check on your cardiac center, see where they are, and you can throw a C4 onto the underside of this floor and take them out. So it's just a little one that you need to know about. A lot of people, I feel like I kind of forgot about it myself. I didn't realize that this floor was soft, so it's a good one to know about. So moving on to the next one here, and this is just a little tip to know about claymores and other gadgets. So what you need to do here is by using the accessibility settings, you can actually change the color of the teams. So a perfect example here on Cafe, you know, you place a claymore down, it has the red lines on it. So as a defender, when you're coming up the stairs, it's gonna be a lot harder to see those red lines. Because of that carpet on the floor, there's more likely of a chance that you're gonna walk into that claymore and get taken out. So what you need to do is, if you go into your accessibility settings and go down to the color codes, you can actually change the color of the teams, changing your team from red to blue and from the opposing team from blue to red. So by doing that, then you'll be able to see blue as a defender, and you can come up the staircase and you'll see it a lot better, and there's less likely of a chance of getting destroyed by the claymore. So like I said, what you need to do is you go into your accessibility settings, you go down to team colors, making sure to change yours to red and the opposing teams to blue, and then you'll be able to see gadgets as blue on your screen. Now, and this is just a really simple trick. It's not even a trick, it's just something that a lot of people don't do when they're playing Legion. Goo Mines do not need to be placed in the middle of a doorway or on the middle of a staircase. They have a radius of effect, so walking nearby it will still activate it. So instead of just placing them in the middle of doors and on the bottom of staircases, like I always see a lot of people do, put them on the side of the door. You'll see here, because it shows you a visualization of the radius, that it covers almost half the door. Now the thing is here is that no one is going to walk through the corner of a doorway. They're going to push straight through the door. So even with it being on the side of the door, they're going to walk straight through and it will still activate, and they'll get hit by the goo. So this is just a really simple but highly effective trick that you need to be using if you're playing Legion. So please remember, do not just place them in the middle of the door, put them on the sides, because it really will give a much more likely of a chance of them walking into them. And moving on to the next one, this is just again something to know about when you're playing castle, when you're putting up the castles onto windows. So what they did a few years ago is that you used to have to take down the soft barricade and then place the castle, whereas now you can actually place it just straight over the soft barricade. It will destroy it and then place the castle. Now the problem with this is that it will leave the glass on the window. Now the glass is going to muffle sound, so it's less likely of a chance of you hearing someone outside the window rappelling or running past. So a really important tip to know here is that make sure to shoot the glass through the soft window before you place the castle up on top of it. It just gives you that added bonus to be able to hear a little bit better for anyone rappelling up outside or running past the window. So that's it for the video today, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to hit that sub button and the notification bell, and of course if you have not got your hands on the brand new Elevate Yana skin, make sure to head over to the R6 shop and check it out. And until next time, I'll talk to you in the next one.